I hadn't even planned to go to the reunion. I was supposed to be in Bali, sipping some overpriced coconut drink and pretending I had no past. But Sky, my best friend and chaos enabler, fake registered me for the 10-year high school reunion and bought me a non-refundable ticket home. His excuse? Closure, babe. Also, I want to see your bully's face when you show up looking like revenge. I stood at the edge of the school gymnasium, in a black button-down that clung a little too well, staring at the crowd of people who once made my life hell. Balloons, a cringe PowerPoint slideshow, awkward hugs, and somewhere in this mess, him, Jace Miller. He was taller now, broader, still had that golden boy smile that made teachers overlook everything he did, including shoving me into lockers. I don't know what I expected. Maybe he'd be balding? Married with a beer gut? Nah, he looked better than ever. Life wasn't fair. Not in high school, not now. I turned to leave. One glimpse was enough. Eli? I froze. Of course he'd recognize me. Even with the longer hair, the new confidence, and the total lack of acne. My name in his voice still sounded like a joke waiting to happen. I turned slowly. Hey, Jace. He blinked. You look different. Yeah, no one throws food at me anymore. It does wonders for the skin. His smile faltered. I never threw. I held up a hand. Please, let's not lie to each other tonight. I came for the free wine and closure. He followed as I walked to the drinks table. So, what do you do now? Why? I said, filling my glass. Trying to guess if I'm successful enough to deserve an apology? He let out a soft, awkward laugh. Okay, I deserved that. You deserved a lot more. But I'm a pacifist now. People stared. They always do when the school freak turns into someone they'd swipe right on. I ignored them and sipped. Bitter wine, sweeter than the moment. Look, Eli, Jay said, eyes suddenly serious. I know what I did. Back then. It wasn't. I didn't mean to be. I cut in. You didn't mean to call me names every day? Didn't mean to tell the whole school I had a crush on you just so I'd get mocked in the cafeteria? Which you printed out and taped to my locker. By the way, his face paled. You remember everything. No, I forgot your birthday prank. Thanks for reminding me. I downed the rest of my wine. Good talk. I'll be going now. It was raining when I stepped outside, because of course it was. I should have brought an umbrella. I started walking fast, not caring if my shirt got soaked. The sky didn't owe me anything. Neither did he. Eli, wait. I stopped, annoyed, and turned. There he was, in the rain, still golden boy perfect but looking like a wet dog. What? I snapped. He hesitated, then walked closer, eyes searching mine. I waited for you to come back. I actually laughed. That's rich. You bully me out of town and suddenly want me back like a lost puppy. He flinched. I never meant to hurt you like that. Then what did you mean to do? I stepped closer. Was humiliating me some kind of twisted flirting? You liked me, so you gave me trauma? Silence. Is that what it was, Jace? He looked away. It's complicated. I stared at him. This guy ruined my high school years. Made me think love was supposed to come with pain. And now he looked at me like he didn't even recognize the monster he used to be. I don't want complicated, I said coldly. I want closure. He whispered, I want a second chance. You don't get one. I turned and walked away. My chest was tight, my heart racing. I'd imagined this moment a million times. Never like this. Never with him whispering my name like it hurt him to say it. Sky was waiting in the car, chewing gum and scrolling through Grindr. Well, he asked, did he cry? Or try to kiss you? Neither. But he's definitely spiraling. He followed me into the rain. Sky laughed. God, I wish I'd filmed it. I sat in silence. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. One new message. Just a video file. I almost didn't open it. But curiosity always wins. It was a grainy recording. A classroom. Jace sat alone, back turned to the camera. He looked broken. He whispered something into his hands. The audio was crackly, but I caught it. I hate myself. I hate what I did to him. I just wanted him to look at me like I mattered. The video ended. I didn't sleep that night. I watched that video 3 more times before sunrise. Felt unreal. Not just the fact that someone had secretly recorded Jace years ago, but what he said, like the words had been trapped inside him for years, never meant for anyone else to hear. I just wanted him to look at me like I mattered. So why didn't he just say it then? I wasn't about to ask. I had plans to leave town the next day. My closure mission was complete. I had humiliated him with a smile, walked away in the rain like some indie movie character, and got my dramatic exit. Except I didn't leave. I stayed. For coffee. For Sky's insistence. For reasons I didn't want to admit even to myself. Let's just see what happens, Sky said, stuffing a donut in his mouth. 1 more day. Maybe 2. Worst case, you get a free breakfast and I get to see your emotional meltdown live. Supportive as always, I muttered. Always, babe. That evening my phone buzzed again. This time it was him. Jace, meet me, please, just once. There's stuff I need to say, stuff I never got to. I stared at the message for a long time. My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. Could have ignored it. Should have. Instead, I sent back one word. Fine. We met at the small cafe near the library. It was too quiet. The air filled with old wood and espresso beans. Jace was already there when I walked in, looking like he hadn't slept. Same hoodie from high school. Same tense hands. He stood when he saw me like a reflex. Thanks for coming. I didn't come for you, I said coolly. I came for the coffee. He smiled just a little. Fair. We sat across from each other. Silence stretched until it snapped. You said you needed to talk, I said, sipping my drink. Talk. He looked down, then back up at me. You remember the art room? I blinked. Of course I do. It was the only place no one bothered me. He nodded. You used to sketch that stupid koi fish over and over. It wasn't stupid. It was symbolic. Of what? Your suffering. My hope, I said, dead serious. He looked embarrassed. Oh, a long pause. I leaned back. You brought me here to talk about fish? No. I brought you here because I owe you the truth. I raised a brow. Finally, Jace fidgeted with his cup. That year, senior year, I was a mess. My dad had just gotten arrested. My mom was spiraling. I was failing math. The coach benched me, and he broke off. I hated everything. But mostly, I hated myself. I didn't say anything. He swallowed. Then there was you. You were just existing. Quiet, kind, so talented. Everyone ignored you. But I couldn't. I tilted my head. So you bullied me because you noticed me? Because I liked you. The cafe was silent. Even the barista stopped pretending to clean. I let out a breathless laugh. Wow, that's original. I pulled your hair because I like you. What are we, 5? No, Eli. I liked you. Liked you so much I didn't know how to handle it. You humiliated me, repeatedly, for months. I know, he said, voice raw. I was scared. My dad, he used to say things about people like us. I thought if I just pretended hard enough, it'd go away. So I made you the problem instead of facing my own. I didn't know what to say. My heart was doing somersaults I didn't approve of. Jace leaned forward. You were the first person I ever felt something real for, and I ruined it. I know that, but I need you to know. I've never stopped regretting it. I stared at him. Is this some guilt trip? You think I'll forgive you because you cried once behind a desk? He flinched. No, I'm not asking for forgiveness. Then what do you want? He looked straight into my eyes. A chance to earn it. I laughed, half from shock, half from disbelief. You're unbelievable. He looked down. Probably. We sat in silence again. The rain started tapping on the windows like a reminder of last night. I stood. I'm leaving tomorrow. Please don't. Don't what? Don't leave. Not yet. Not before I can prove I've changed. I gave him a long look. You had years. I gave up waiting. He stood too. Then let me start now. One day. That's all I'm asking. I should have walked away. I really should have. But the problem with old scars is they still bleed when pressed. Fine, I said. One day. Jace took that one day very seriously. The next morning, he showed up at my hotel with 2 coffees and a bag of pastries. Sky opened the door in a robe and blinked. Wow. Plot twist. Prince Apology actually showed up. Can I talk to Eli? Sky grinned. He's in the shower. Want to join him? Jace's face turned bright red. And no. Relax. I'm joking. Sky patted his arm and walked off whistling. When I finally came out, Jace was standing awkwardly by the window, holding the coffee like it was a peace offering. Truce, he said. For now. He took me out to the boardwalk, the bookstore I used to love, even the old art room, now converted into some kind of yoga center. Every place held a memory, some painful, some surprisingly warm. We laughed more than I expected. He made dumb jokes. I rolled my eyes. He kept glancing at me like he couldn't believe I was real. It was weird, but not entirely unpleasant. At one point, we sat on a bench watching seagulls fight over fries. He turned to me. You've changed, he said softly. You haven't, I replied. He smiled. Touché. But then he added, but I'm trying to. I looked away, unsure how to feel. That night, I got another message. Not from Jace. From Mia, his high school girlfriend. Mia, we need to talk. You don't know the whole story. He's not telling you everything. I stared at the screen. My stomach twisted. Of course he wasn't. I didn't reply to Mia. Not right away. I stared at her message for hours, rereading those words. You don't know the whole story. She didn't say what it was, just dangled it like bait. I hated it. The not knowing. The idea that Jace was still hiding something. That night, I met Sky in the hallway of our hotel. He was eating instant noodles with chopsticks he stole from a sushi place. Why do you look like you're about to explode? He asked with a mouthful. Mia messaged me. Sky stopped chewing. That girl who used to make you cry during lunch by saying your shoes looked haunted? That's the one. He raised a brow. And now she wants to be besties? She says Jace isn't telling me everything. Sky stared at me, dead serious. Okay, do you want to go full spy mode? I nodded. Obviously. We met Mia at a little rooftop bar downtown. She looked the same. Still had that intimidating beauty vibe, like she could destroy you with a compliment. But there was something gentler in her eyes now. Eli, she said, pulling me into a light hug. You look amazing. You used to hide under hoodies. Now you look like you could walk a runway. Sky whispered. Or a revenge fantasy. I smacked his arm. Mia leaned in. Look, I know I wasn't exactly nice to you in school, but I was stupid and insecure. And I thought if I pretended I didn't see what was going on with Jace, it would go away. I folded my arms. Go on. She sighed. Jace didn't just like you. He loved you. Obsessed. He used to draw you in his notebooks. He wrote poems. Bad ones. He used to sit in my room after practice, asking me what to do. That sounds fake, Sky muttered. It wasn't, she said. He was terrified. His dad was cruel and strict. Jace grew up hearing that love made you weak, especially the kind of love he felt for you. So he pushed it down, and it came out twisted. My chest tightened. He told you he liked me, I said. He didn't say any of this. He wouldn't, Mia said softly, because if he tells you everything, you'll see the real him, and he's scared you'll run. I didn't reply. On the way back to the hotel, Sky said, So what's the plan now? Talk? Yell? Kiss? I shook my head. I don't know, but I'm not leaving until I find out what he's still hiding. The next morning, I waited for Jace outside the park. He came jogging up, headphones in, sweat clinging to his skin. He looked unfairly good for someone who used to ruin my life. Morning, he said breathlessly. I held up my phone. Want to explain why your ex-girlfriend knows more about your feelings than I do? His face dropped. She talked to you? Don't look so betrayed. She told me the truth, which is more than you've done. He sat down on the bench, suddenly quiet. I didn't know how. You didn't know how to tell me you were in love with me? I didn't think I was allowed to be. I sat beside him, not touching, just close enough. Then tell me now. He looked at me, eyes soft. I loved you so much it made me hate myself. I thought if I kept pushing you, maybe I'd stop feeling it. But I never did. I stared at the ground. You're lucky I don't punch you right now. You can. I deserve it. I'd rather throw you into the fountain. He laughed quietly. Please don't. These shoes are expensive. I looked at him again. This boy who used to make me cry, now speaking like he was the one with bruises inside. Why did you never send me that letter? He blinked. What letter? The one I found in your old locker, addressed to me, with koi fish doodles in the margins. His face flushed. You found that? I nodded. Why didn't you send it? I was going to, but the day I planned to, someone graffitied your locker, and you looked so broken. I thought it was too late. I would have read it. I know that now. Silence. Then he said, do you still draw? A little. I'd love to see something. If you'd let me. Maybe. We sat in silence again, but it wasn't heavy. It was almost peaceful. Then he said it. I still love you. And I froze. I never stopped, he said softly. Even when I hated myself for it. Even when I thought I didn't deserve you. I still do. I didn't know what to say. My heart was trying to climb up my throat. I don't want to pressure you, he added quickly. You owe me nothing. But if there's even a chance you feel the same. I don't know what I feel, I whispered. But I don't hate you anymore. That's something, right? He smiled. It's everything. Later that night, I sat on the floor of Sky's room, sketchbook in my lap, the koi fish coming back to life under my pencil. Sky leaned over my shoulder. You're in love with him. No. Liar. I rolled my eyes. I'm cautious. Same thing. He sat beside me. So what now? I stared at the drawing. The fish was swimming upward, against the current. I think, I said slowly, I'm ready to see who he really is. All of him. No more secrets. Sky grinned. You're such a romantic for someone who wears all black. And you're nosy for someone who doesn't pay rent. We laughed. But I knew something had changed. I wasn't scared anymore. And maybe, just maybe, Jace wasn't either. I wasn't planning to go to his house. But after the conversation in the park, after he said he still loved me, after the sketchbook night, I couldn't stop thinking about him. And the letter. And the way he looked at me like he was scared I'd vanish again. He texted that morning. Jace, come over. I want to show you something. It's not a trick. Promise. I didn't respond. 20 minutes later, I was at his door. He opened it in a hoodie and socks, looking like he hadn't slept again. His hair was a mess. He stepped aside silently and let me in. His house was quiet, bigger than I expected. Still, it felt empty, like a museum that hadn't been visited in years. He led me upstairs to a small room. The walls were plain. The only thing inside was a desk, a stack of notebooks, and a single painting hanging above a shelf. It was a koi fish, my koi fish, the exact way I used to draw it in the art room, except it was done in oils, brighter, richer, alive. I turned to him. You painted this? He nodded. I made it the week after you left. Why? Because it was the only thing that ever made me feel like I knew you. The real you, not the boy I mocked. The one I admired. I stared at the painting for a long time, then said, you could have just texted me like a normal person. He laughed softly. I wasn't normal back then. No, you were a jerk. I was scared. I was alone. He turned serious. I know. Then, without warning, he got down on one knee. I blinked. Okay. What are you doing? He looked up at me, eyes glassy. I need to say this the way I should have said it years ago. Jace, get up. This is weird. I won't until you hear me out. I folded my arms. Fine. 1 minute. He took a shaky breath. I was a coward. I hurt you because I didn't know how to love you. I thought if I shoved you away hard enough, the feelings would disappear. But they didn't. They only got louder. I didn't say anything. I kept thinking you'd forget me. that maybe you'd move on and I could finally breathe. But I never did. Every relationship after you felt empty. Every laugh was fake. I kept comparing everyone to you, and they always lost. His voice cracked. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know that. But if you leave again without knowing how sorry I am, then I'll never be able to live with myself. He looked up, genuinely shaking. And I hated him. I hated him for making me care again. I'm not here for closure anymore, I whispered. I don't think I want to walk away this time. He stood up slowly. Then stay. I stepped closer. This doesn't fix everything. I don't want to fix everything in one day, he said. I want to earn every moment. I sighed. You really are dramatic. Only for you. I didn't know if it was forgiveness. I didn't know if it was love either. But it was something. And it was real. Then came the knock. We both froze. 3 sharp knocks at the door. Jace frowned. Stay here. He left the room. I followed anyway. At the door was a man in a suit. Mid-40s. Cold eyes. He looked like someone who didn't smile unless it benefited him. Jace, the man said. We need to talk. I knew immediately. Your dad. I whispered. Jace didn't answer. The man's gaze shifted to me. So this is him. I stiffened. Excuse me? You're the reason my son threw away his future. Dad, stop, Jace snapped. But his father kept going. You destroyed him. I saw the grades drop. The sports. The shame. I told you back then, didn't I? That boy is nothing but. Enough, Jace yelled. You don't get to speak to him like that. His father glared. Still choosing the weak ones. Still embarrassing this family. Jace took a step forward. Get out of my house. Jace. Get out. His dad looked at him, surprised. Then sneered and walked away. I just stood there, shaking. Not from fear, but from how casually that man had said those words. Like I was still the boy from high school, too small to matter. Jace turned to me. I'm sorry. I didn't know he'd show up. I nodded, unable to speak. He reached for my hand. This is what I meant. This is the part of me I was scared to show you. I get it now, I said quietly. He squeezed my hand. I'm not letting him control my life anymore. I looked at him. Then don't mess this up. I won't. And for the first time, I believed him. Later that night, I sat on the hotel balcony, watching the city lights, sketchbook in my lap. I drew Jace, not the perfect, golden version, but the real one, the boy with guilt in his eyes and love in his hands. Sky peeked out. You staying longer? I think so. He smiled. Good. You deserve a little drama. The sexy kind. I snorted. It's not sexy. It's complicated. He grinned. Same thing. I looked down at the sketch. Jace's eyes were soft. Real. I wasn't ready to say I loved him. But maybe I was ready to find out. I didn't tell Jace I was leaving. Not because I wanted to disappear again, but because I needed space to breathe. After his father showed up, I kept replaying that moment. The way Jace stood between us. The way he said, "Get out." It was the first time I saw him fight for something that wasn't his image or pride. He fought for me. But old wounds don't close overnight. I needed to decide if this was real or just nostalgia wrapped in rain and apologies. I left a note with Sky. Just a few lines. I'm not running. I just need time. If he really wants this, he'll understand. I took a train out to the coast. A small town with quiet streets and noisy birds. No one knew me there. I sat on docks, sketched strangers, and let my heart settle. Day 1, no calls. Day 2, no texts. Day 3, a message from Sky. He's freaking out but pretending he's chill. Classic. Are you gonna talk to him or let him become a poetry guy? I smiled, barely. Then I turned off my phone. A week later I came back. The first thing I saw was my koi painting. On display. In a gallery. My name wasn't on it. E. Reyes, it said in tiny cursive on the corner. The exhibit theme? Unspoken. There were 5 paintings. All of me. Me laughing. Me sketching. Me alone by a window. One where I was turning away, painted from memory. And the final one, Me, sitting in the old art room, wearing that stupid hoodie I thought hid everything. My chest tightened. Jace stood in the far corner of the gallery. He didn't see me at first. He was talking to a couple, smiling politely, hands in his pockets. I stayed back. Then he looked up. Our eyes met. He froze. And then he started walking. Fast. Past the paintings, past the crowd. Straight to me. I didn't know if you'd come, he said, breathless. You didn't text. I figured I'd said enough. You needed quiet. You were right. He rubbed the back of his neck. Did you see the paintings? All 5. He swallowed. They're all about you. I noticed. I didn't show your face in any of them. Not fully. I didn't want people to see you like I do. That's mine. That sentence hit harder than I expected. He stepped closer. You left without saying goodbye. I wanted to see if you'd let me go. And you didn't chase me. You respected it. I promised I'd change. I nodded slowly. He looked nervous. Did it work? I reached into my bag and pulled out my latest sketchbook. Flipped to the last page. A drawing. Of him. Not perfect. But soft. Tired. Honest. I handed it to him. I never draw people unless they matter. He stared at the page, then at me. You're back, he said quietly. I am. He looked like he might cry, but held it in. I'm scared I'll mess this up, he admitted. I'm scared too, I whispered. But maybe we don't have to be perfect. We just have to be honest. He nodded. Then he did something that caught everyone's attention. He knelt down. Again. Right in the middle of the gallery. Jace, what are you? I'm not proposing. I just want you to hear this properly. Everyone turned. Phones raised. Murmurs spread like wildfire. He didn't care. I hurt you. I lost you. And when I got you back, I almost did it again. But I've learned something. Loving someone isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing them even when you're scared. So I'm choosing you. Every day. As long as you'll let me. I stared down at him, heart pounding. You really like making a scene, huh? I said. He grinned. Only for you. I took his hand. Get up, idiot. I said. We're going home. He pulled me into his arms, tight and warm, and everything else disappeared. A month later, we were sitting on my tiny balcony in the city. I had paint on my cheek. He had a pencil behind his ear. We weren't perfect. We still argued. He still snored. I still hogged the blanket. But every morning he brought me coffee. And every night, I fell asleep to the sound of his voice saying, "Stay." So I did. Because he wasn't the boy who broke me anymore. He was the man who learned how to love me. And this time I wasn't going anywhere.